Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend so far. We do have some low pressure across the whole state, but what exactly is low pressure? Well, low pressure usually indicates cloudy skies or even rain especially, but typically that's what it's related to, is more moisture in the air because the warm air rises and that's how you get those cloudy skies. So we'll be jumping into that today, and it's pretty interesting because this low pressure is affecting everything statewide, so that just shows you how big this low pressure system is. So jumping into what we've been seeing here in Anchorage, our time lapse for today just shows all of that moisture, the low level clouds. You can see those clouds rising on the mountain peak as well, but so far today we've seen slightly cloudy or slightly sunny skies, but mostly cloudy conditions. We've even had some rain starting up again this evening, so that's kind of what we're going to expect to see a little bit going into tomorrow. But with our weather headlines and our photo from Bob, thank you for this beautiful view. Looks like it's up near Flat Top, but beautiful fireweed. So we have cooler temperatures statewide, and that's one of those indications from this low pressure system. And this low pressure is continuing throughout the weekend, so this is going to last in some areas through Monday, but here in South Central we'll be done with this by tomorrow afternoon. But Sunday is bringing in some relief and drier conditions for here in South Central. But over on in the western coast of Alaska, this low pressure system is really that's where it really started to form, and it's bringing in this high surf advisory. And I just want you to know that this high surf advisory isn't taking effect until Monday, and that will be Monday through Wednesday is when you're going to see this high surf advisory. So we'll continue to monitor that and see if that changes in the few coming days. This high surf advisory, though, that just means higher waves and just gustier conditions. So if you're going to take the boat out, just keep in mind that this high surf advisory will be issued for Monday through Wednesday. So you can even see those scattered showers moving through. Now this wave height, it's just going to push through on Monday, and you can see where those 5 to 10 feet of wave is going to start to move through. So that's going to be your biggest indication of that high surf advisory, and that's what we're really looking at, is just the wave height mostly. So we'll keep seeing what that's going to look like and how that might change. But this low pressure system is covering the whole state. Now that's that area right over the Seward Peninsula in blue, and you can see all across the state we're seeing green colors. Now green, that's what we're indicating with their low pressure system. But if you direct your attention down to southeast Alaska, they've got a jet stream moving through the area, and that's just continuing to bring more and more moisture into southeast. Now one of the big problems that we're trying to monitor and what we're really trying to focus on is the Suicide Basin flooding. So that's going to start to take place. National Weather Service believes this will take place by next week, but we're going to continue to see how that looks. But as we approach capacity with that basin, it's going to start to flood, and that's that glacier outburst flooding that happens a lot here in Alaska. So we're going to keep monitoring that to keep you all in Southeast informed, especially those of you in Juneau. That's where it's really important to know what exactly is happening. So we'll keep looking at those numbers and just check in with your local emergency managers to see what's going on and what you can do to prepare for that. But that low pressure system is continuing to move across the state and mostly hovering into the interior throughout this weekend. So that's kind of the biggest thing we're focusing on. You can even see those temperatures starting to change and cool down even going into Monday. So that's where that low pressure is really moving through. All the blue indicates those slightly cooler temperatures than what we normally see on average at this time of year. But looking ahead, you can see on our satellite and radar with our forecasts, we're seeing those scattered showers moving across southeast or south central by tomorrow afternoon, and then by tomorrow afternoon we're going to continue to see those partly cloudy to partly sunny skies. Much less rain by tomorrow afternoon, but you're still going to start off seeing conditions that we're seeing right now if you look outside, those light scattering showers. So Western Alaska, you're in for another storm coming in by Monday. That's going to push through, bringing in a big front of cold air and also a lot of moisture ahead. So Western Alaska, you're not done seeing this low pressure just yet. There's more on the way. In southeast, you're continuing to see all of that rain building up to nearly 2 inches in some areas like Juneau, and that's really important with the Suicide Basin flooding. But other areas are seeing ½ an inch and even just not much rain at all. But here in South Central, we're continuing to see that rain start to add up. And the interior is also seeing those afternoon scattered showers building up that rain collection. So that's what we're looking at. And with just southeast specifically moving into tomorrow, we're getting close to 1/4 of an inch, but not too much. Up in Palmer and Matsu is expecting to see much more, so we'll see what tomorrow looks like and what tomorrow brings, but most of that rain should come through in the morning and it should be clearing out by the afternoon. But live look at all of our cities right now, we're seeing lots of cloud cover, so that just shows you how big this low pressure system is building in across areas from Ketchikan to here in Anchorage up to Fairbanks, and even areas out west and up north, seeing those continued cloudy skies. So no matter where you are, you should just kind of let me know in the comments what you're seeing in the sky right now. I know a lot of clouds in the area, but some areas are seeing slightly sunnier conditions than others. So right now in southeast for tomorrow, we're going to continue to expect that rain to keep falling, especially from that jet stream that we're seeing, and then temperatures in the mid-60s throughout the region. Interior seeing much cooler temperatures, especially in Fairbanks and Healy. They were averaging temperatures in the 70s and now dropping down into the 50s, which is pretty crazy. So much cooler temperatures. You're going to see scattered showers moving in and mostly into the afternoon. And North Slope, you're seeing those temperatures down into the 40s and even in the 30s in Utqiagvik. So much cooler temperatures there as well, with those scattered showers moving through. In western Alaska, you're continuing to see those scattered showers move on out, and temperatures in the 50s, so continuing to see cooler temperatures than what you saw last week. The Aleutians seeing those still pretty gusty winds, especially in Adak, but temperatures in the 50s and 60s, so you're still staying on the relatively warm side for tomorrow. Now here in South Central, this is what we're looking at right now. For tomorrow, we're looking at slightly sunnier skies, which is really the biggest thing to look forward to by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures in the 60s throughout the area. In Copper River Basin, continuing to see slightly showery conditions, but partly cloudy to partly sunny skies. Temperatures in the low 60s. Matsu, you're continuing to see light rain, but temperatures in the 60s as well. And here in Anchorage, we're going to continue to see light rain in the morning mostly, but then it's going to warm up a little bit more in the afternoon, but it's also going to stay a little bit cloudy, but mostly much sunnier by the afternoon. So that's what we're continuing to see for tomorrow. Going into Monday, we're going to see some low pressure moving in, but we're going to keep paying attention to that and see what happens. It should move in by Tuesday or Wednesday or so, but ultimately temperatures in the mid to low 60s for tomorrow and continuing into next week. But Fairbanks is seeing those much cooler temperatures. Just look at the difference from what tomorrow brings compared to Tuesday. So you're already seeing those effects of the low pressure, and I think it's pretty interesting to be able to really see those effects of low pressure, even high pressure, seeing how temperatures change from day to day depending on what's happening in the atmosphere. It's pretty interesting stuff, and just seeing how big this low pressure system is affecting areas from all the way out west to all the way into southeast. It's pretty crazy, especially in a state as big as Alaska. Just shows how big that low pressure system is. So tomorrow we're continuing to see showers moving in, mostly in the morning. Some areas are seeing those showers in the afternoon, but ultimately you're going to start to fizzle out from that low pressure. But then we do have another low pressure system coming in from the west, moving in for next week. So it's going to be a pretty interesting week of weather upcoming. We'll see what tomorrow brings us, and I'll be back for tomorrow, of course. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy it. I know the rain is not everybody's favorite, but just try to look on the bright side. We're nearly out of fire season now, so that is a good thing to pay attention to. But ultimately, hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, and I will see you back here tomorrow. And with that, I will leave you with your view of Ketchikan right now with those overcast skies and very, very low-lying clouds.